Hello and welcome. Shall we climb? Recently, I have gotten my hands on both of the new major camming devices released this year, Petzl Neox and Edelrid Pinch. Those that know me know I love my weird devices. For example, Edelrid Grigri has been my go-to for any multi-pitch, and I've been rocking MadRock Lifeguard since 2017 as my main outdoor device. Okay, let's take a look at both and the available competition in the sport climbing scene and see what's shaking and what's seizing and what's showboating. Here I gathered dearly beloved and the judged and shoved them all into a lovely table. Now let's see them dance. Neox and Pinch weigh nearly the same and both cater to the same rope thickness. Compared to the oldies but goldies like Grigri 2, with a difference of 65 grams lighter, and MadRock Lifeguard with a featherweight difference of over 80 grams lighter, the newcomers can be considered kinda chunky. Now, let's not forget the carabiner situation. Neox, same as Grigri 2 and the Lifeguard and most other devices, need one to actually do his job keeping your partner safe. Pinch doesn't. If we take, for example, BD Hot Forged Screwgate at only 50 grams and $14, we have now this layout. And in this case, Pinch actually comes out as the cheapest option for sport climbing, as you don't need that extra carabiner. All fairly comparable apart from Neox, but how are they to live and play with? Everyone is quite familiar with Grigri 2 and how to operate it, I hope. You feed the slack, you fast feed the slack, and then you take up slack and lower. All the rest of them function exactly the same way. Same brake end that you don't let go, same lever on the left for lowering. Lifeguard is quite similar, but lacks the bottom shielding and the famous lip catch for the finger when fast feeding the slack. So pinching the device will work as well. It's smaller and lighter than a Grigri, while having a solid full aluminum and steel build. Though there have been some manufacturing deviation in my experience that lead to a more grabby device from time to time. Neox, in its out-of-the-box form, feeds really fast and really smoothly for most people. I kept triggering the annoying wheel cranking phase and basically felt it to be slightly smoother and more annoying Grigri that just continuously rattles. I spent a few weeks on a trip on a very sandy crag belaying with a Neox and Lifeguard. And while Lifeguard had a bit of a coarse feeling in the lever action, Neox full-on seized up during the trip and turned itself into a pretty much just an expensive and super heavy Grigri. When we returned, I needed to blast it with an air duster and lube it up just to get it going at an acceptable rate again. Not a good showing for an outdoor device. It was still functional in the same sense that it wouldn't kill a climber, but if you expect to feed out slack as smoothly and effortlessly as before, you will be shorting your partner and getting yelled at. You might also need to consider that there isn't Petzl recommendation for the use of this device in a multi-pitch scenario. So this is purely a sport climbing device that feeds really well. If the only thing you need from this is to operate it in the gym or on a more or less standard, not very sandy crag, then this is an excellent sport climbing device. Those of us that climb in red or in crags like Osp Cave should look elsewhere. It will get clogged. Pinch came to me a few months later, so I haven't used it as long, but to start with, just like Neox, it feeds way smoother than the older devices. Just as beefy and sturdy as the Petzl offering, it also has a few additional moving parts. Specifically, the panic clicker that I disabled after the first use with a provided small screw. Make sure you do not toss it out with the packaging and instructions that it's attached to. And the main gimmick for which I kind of fell in love with the device is its ability to attach itself directly to the belly loop without the carabiner. I wouldn't notice an extra 100 grams or even 300 on me. It's not because of the weight savings, but because of how it positions the device and how it allows to feed the slack and work with the pinch in a more controlled manner. Also, no beaner, no side load, no gates sliding into the device. Not that those issues are common, but that's the problem with them. It all needs to go wrong once for it to go critically wrong. In conclusion, if you need a device that will be versatile, light, and safe, if you can still find one, I would recommend the MadRock Lifeguard. But if you are looking for something new and exciting with some additional trick up its sleeve, forgo the Neox and give our guys at Edelrid a chance. In my opinion, it is a better option for an outdoor climber. Now, this is only my personal opinion, based on the use cases that I encountered in the wild, and it might be quite different from what you might encounter and need. So treat it as such. And also, this channel is not sponsored by anyone, and the devices that you see in front of me are all from either my personal collection or from my friends. So I have no incentive to promote one company over the other. Now, if you climb in a Canadian climbing gym, especially in South Ontario, you might as well disregard this entire video. We are allowed only what the insurance company allows in that gym, with practically no variation to speak of. If you like this sort of content, please do like and subscribe. And if there are some ideas, topics you wish us to cover on this channel, or some use case that I haven't covered before, leave a comment and I'll see if I can include that in the future videos. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great session.